Okay. I would like to go ahead and welcome everyone to CB3 SLA committee meeting on November 10th. We had a few items that have withdrawn this evening, so I'm going to go through those quickly. If you're here in person or on Zoom for those items, we will not be hearing them tonight. They may come back at a later time. Please watch the calendar. The items that have withdrawn were number 3, Cozy Cafe at 43 East First Street. Number 5, Ray's at 177 Christie Street. Number 10 at 88 East Broadway. Number 11, Kind Regards at 152 Ludlow. Number 12, Munchie's Pizzeria at 244 East 13th Street. And then we had one item which is actually was on our original agenda. It's heard administratively. Does not need to be heard at committee. It was number 13, San Antonio's at 247 Eldridge Street. Those items again will not be heard tonight. They may be at a future time. So if you're here for one of those items, please watch the calendar for the future. So the way the meeting is going to go tonight, we're going to go through the items. We have 2 very quick items that we're going to take at the beginning, and then I think we're going to go with order for the rest of them. I will go through each agenda item. I will give a brief summary of what the applicant is proposing. We will give the applicant a chance to speak. We'll then give the public a chance to respond. We'll go back to the applicant for a chance for them to respond to what they heard from the public. Then we'll move to the committee for a vote. You all have 2 minutes to speak. Please try to keep your comments to 2 minutes. No crosstalk when other people are talking because there are people on Zoom and it becomes very difficult for the people on Zoom to hear when there's action going on here in the room. We will give you the microphones to speak whenever it's time. When you do come up, just press the button on the front of the microphone. If you're on Zoom, we will unmute you. We just ask for you to be respectful, no name calling. Let's go back to kindergarten and pretend like we're in kindergarten. We're all going to speak nicely to each other. So, on that note, we're going to go ahead and get started quickly with. We have 2 items. They are both theaters. I don't think we need to spend very much time on these at all. The first item is item number 8. Oh, yes, sorry. Skipping ahead, we're going to do a quick roll call vote for our members here on the committee. Guillermo Zuglia, Megan Joy, present. Clint Meltzer, present. Michael Barrio, present. Okay, Stephen Ballinger. Okay, we are now going to move to the items. We're going to start with number 8, AMC Village 7 at 66 3rd Avenue. Are the applicants here in person or on Zoom for 66 3rd Avenue? There's my face. Michael's Zoom.
Hi, Amanda Taylor here on behalf of AMC.
Hi, Amanda, and you're the representative, correct?
Yes.
Anyone is the applicant here as well, or is it just you tonight?
The manager, also Christian Walker, he's here.
I think he's getting promoted as well. So I'm going to give a very quick summary of this and then let you add anything that might need to be corrected. This is American Cinema. America Multi-Cinema Incorporated doing business as AMC Theaters is seeking a full on-premises license upgrade. Premises located at 66 3rd Avenue between 11th and 12th. It's an application for an establishment of 620 people. There's 520 seats, concession stand, serving food out of the prep area, serving food during loss operation. It is already existing, operating as a movie theater. 21 on-premises licenses within 500 feet. The location does currently have a beer and wine license. There have been no 301 complaints at all. If this problem, I don't think there have been any complaints at all from in any capacity to the community board. We had 8 residents who live within 2 blocks of the location signed petition in favor. They're changing no other method of their operation. It'll stay exactly the same. They'll just be adding a full license as opposed to they had beer and wine previously. Their closing hours is 5:30 all days and very based on movies. And I think I'm going to hand it over to you, Amanda. Is there anything else that you would like to add or correct in what I just said?
No, I think you pretty much covered anything. I guess I would just point out that they don't plan on opening like a full bar there where they'll be mixing drinks and things like that. It's just so that they can offer canned cocktails in addition to beer and wine at the movie theater.
Oh, so they're not even offer it's just going to be canned cocktails. It's not even going to be a full actual bar.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
correct.
Which makes it even simpler
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Is there anyone here from the public to speak to this item? I don't think in person. Is there anyone on Zoom that wanted to speak to this item? Okay, seeing no one. So normally we would put the stipulations on the screen, go through these for you, but since they're staying exactly the same, we're just adding beer and wine. We'll just go ahead and make that change to the existing stipulations and send those out for you to sign. Is that okay, Amanda?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
And they're adding liquor. They already have beer and wine. Just to be
Yes.
clear.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry, I don't know if I said adding beer and wine. We're adding liquor to the beer
Yeah.
and wine. So we're gonna do a quick vote and then the office will be sending out the stipulations within the next day or two for you to return.
Okay, great.
Voting to add the full liquor to the beer and wine license 66 Third Avenue AMC Movie Theater. Guillermo? Yes. Megan?
Yes.
Clint, yes. Michael Lavario? Yes. Okay, so motion passes and then we'll be sending those out with instructions to return to the office. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so moving on from that item, the next item we have is item number 9, Sweet Hospitality Group at 79 East 4th Street. It's an actual theater, not a movie theater. It's right down the street from where we are now. They already have beer and wine. They're upgrading to a full license. If the applicants are here for that, please raise your Zoom hand. Promoting. No.
Hi there. Good evening, everyone.
Hello there. Are you're the applicant or you're the representative?
Yeah, I'm the attorney for the applicant.
Your turn.
Dan Propati here. He has joined us as well, and EJ Murata, I believe, is on as well, or will be momentarily. As you had mentioned, this is a class change, a class change application to a full liquor license at the Lincoln Center. So they currently have beer and wine at this point.
No. New
I'm sorry.
their workshop.
Yeah, not Lincoln Center.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I mix that up?
That's next week.
That's next week. We got a number. Okay.
That's okay. We know the location you're talking about.
Well, that's why these guys are here. So keep me in line. So, yeah, I mean, the hours of operation, correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen, are from 12 p.m. to 11 p.m. Does that sound about right?
Generally speaking, we have matinees Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and then the rest of the week it's just evening performances. But the shows get out usually by 11 p.m.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So,
and again-
are you changing anything else in your method of operation as it currently exists, or otherwise you're keeping everything the same? You're just adding the full liquor to the beer and wine license, correct?
And the
That's
same,
correct.
we're just using canned cocktails as well.
Okay, so you're not even gonna have a full bar either. It's literally just gonna be a can
Right.
added to the beer and wine.
Yep.
So that's, again, I will speak for myself, and anyone else in the committee, if they have any comments, they can.
Yeah, I was gonna say just the only thing for the stipulations. Because it's only some days that they're opening at 12, I would say opening time.
Right.
For 5, because then they can always open earlier.
Yeah, just in our stipulations, we were gonna have, I know you said you weren't opening at noon all days. So the way we generally word our stipulations is opening no later than. So we were gonna put, I think in the resolution, we were gonna have opening no later than 5 p.m., closing by 11 p.m. all days. That way, if you want to open earlier, we encourage that actually, but that way you don't have to open till 5. Now, it seemed like you did have a question about 11. Do you want to change that to 11:30 or even, I mean, midnight is a standard thing for our licenses anyways. Just do you have people there after 11?
Rarely, but it'll be helpful to, in case it's a long show,
I
midnight.
don't want to have it at, I don't want to lock you into 11, and if the show isn't over till 11, you have people trickling out at 20 after 11, and in the random thing that an SLA inspector would show up, you would get cited for being open past your hours, so.
Yeah, that would be helpful. We won't be open post-show, so it's
Yeah.
highly unlikely intermission would happen that late.
But, so, do you wanna say 11:30?
No, but let's extend till midnight. That'll,
Okay.
just in case, yeah,
That's
that's,
fine, I don't think
Thank
anyone
you.
in the community has an
Appreciate
issue with that at all, it's just kind of to protect yourself too, so that you're not locking yourself into 11 and, yeah, okay. Anything
Appreciate it.
else? Anything else you wanted to add before we kind of move on here?
That's it.
Okay. Is there anyone from the public here in person or on Zoom to speak to 79 East 4th Street, Sweet Hospitality Group?
No.
Okay. So we are going to then go ahead and move, and same thing, we would normally put the stipulations up on the screen, but since nothing is changing, we're just going, actually, the only thing we'd really be adjusting is just that hour, I'm not sure what your original stipulations were for, but on the new stipulations, it'll be 5 to midnight then, for every day. So the office will be
Right.
sending those out then for you to get signed and returned, but we're gonna move to a vote. Guillermo?
Yes.
Megan?
Yes.
Mike Smeltzer, yes. Michael Lavario?
Yes.
Okay, so the motion passes. The office will be sending out the stipulations within the next day or so, and they'll give you instructions on how and when to return them.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Okay, so now we've actually gone through two really quick ones. We're gonna start with number 4, which is Cafe Mod at 132 Second Avenue. I know there's people here, the applicants are here for Cafe Mod. So give me one quick second and I'm gonna go through a little summary. Now,
Cheers.
I assume, is Michael on Zoom?
He's not, it's just us.
Just here, okay. Okay, so Post 132 LLC doing business as Cafe Mod is seeking a method of operation change to the full on premises license, and the premises located at 132 Second Avenue between St. Mark's and 9th Street. It's an application for establishment of 118 people, 28 tables, 88 seats, 131-foot bar with 7 seats, 126-foot bar with 9 seats, full kitchen serving food during all its operation, no television, ambient background for music only, unamplified acoustic guitar player till 9 p.m. Fridays to Sundays. They're also requesting to add DJs and extend their current hours, which are 12 during the week and 2 on the weekends to 4 a.m. all nights. They have been in operation at this location since June of 2024. There are 29 full on premises licenses within 500 feet. The applicant does have 10 of the locations in New York, another one in CP3, which is Jackdaw at 213 Second Avenue. At Jackdaw, there have been 30 311 complaints with 16 non-crime corrected since 2019. At the current location at 132 Second Avenue, there have been 54 311 complaints since June of 2024, with 17 requiring police action. We did receive 2 different emails from residents in opposition to the application. 101 residents who live within 2 blocks of the location signed a petition in favor of the application. Otherwise, they're saying it's an American fusion restaurant, kitchen open serving food during all of operation. They will close all outdoor uses by 10 p.m. Close any front door facade and windows at 10 p.m. or when any amplified sound is playing, including unlimited DJs, live music, etc. They will have a happy hour until 7 p.m. every night. And they're ensure there are no wait lines and have an employee designated to ensure there's no loitering noise or crowds outside. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and hand it over to the applicants. If you would like to go ahead and speak with one of the microphones, that way.
You want us to stand?
Yeah,
Yeah, sure. Look, thanks for having us. We originally came here, before 2024, and when we signed the lease agreement or got in talks for it, the previous application had been, or the previous place had been licensed till 4 a.m. 7 nights a week. With that in mind, we knew it was probably possible that we wouldn't get 4 a.m. 7 nights a week. When we went to the community board, we had our meeting, we were knocked down to 12 and 2. Offered to accept 12 and 2. Under the understanding that, all going well, we could come back in front of you guys and, put a case forward for extended hours. And here we are. I suppose I think that we've been pretty well received by the neighborhood. We have had obviously some complaints. We've actually dealt, Susan herself knows there that we've dealt as directly as we could with those when they arose. We have a lot of communication with the people in the building, with anybody who has reached out or anybody who we've been able to actually communicate with directly. We've even done, you know, I don't know if you guys look favorably on it, but we have attempted to mend with one of the particular applicants and, or sorry, you know, residents. And look, we're just here trying to put our best face forward to kind of, especially now with the months that are coming, we're looking at ideally extending the hours to probably keep people in jobs, because we're going to probably lose some of the outdoor seats. It's going to get a little bit colder, business is going to get a little bit slower, and extra hours mean more hours for staff, probably keeping more staff on the schedule. That's a huge driver for us. We employ 76, is it above? 76 people at that establishment, about 25% of which are East Village residents. And it's important to us to be well got in the neighborhood, well got in the community. And, you know, obviously issues are going to arise. We're going to hear from people now. That we're not hiding behind anything, that we're here in front of you dealing with them, and ideally that we're, you know, moving forward with that in mind, that we're part of the community and we're thoughtful about how we move forward with it. That's it. We have a little thing here that we just put together. A lot of what's in this is what we've done with regard to soundproofing in the store. From the beginning stuff at the construction stage. Yeah, from the beginning stuff at the construction stage to stuff we've done later in response to some of the residents' direct communication, which we've had great success with. One of the residents saying 80 to 90% improvement in their quality of living in their apartment, which was great, you know. And then from there, I suppose we just put a few bullet points as to why we would advocate for just later hours in general, for the neighborhood, as a store, as you know, you see yourself in the East Village right now. Every second store you walk past is either empty, closed early. There's so many places that are so well known and have been for so long that are closed now. I think people are genuinely, potentially, maybe just afraid to try and do business in the neighborhood, in the city, anywhere, and it's already hard enough to do so. So we have a lot of reasons why we would advocate for it. Obviously, we don't want to upset anybody in the process. I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. I think we're gonna move to the public, or okay, I think Susan was gonna speak to a couple things with this item.
Okay, so I'm sorry, but I have to go over some of the history that we have. And I want to start by saying stipulations are, in my opinion, the most important thing this committee does. And it's a way for the businesses and the residents to come to an agreement and to coexist for everybody. You are not following your stipulations. You signed, when you got your liquor license, you signed that all outdoor dining would close by 10. When you applied for outdoor dining, you again said they would close by 10. I didn't realize it, but you haven't been closing by 10. I noticed it myself first on election night, when I was coming home from a election party past 10. And I spoke to your manager. I always used to try and speak to you. And I always try and speak to the companies, and I told her that you have stipulations, you're not supposed to be open after 10. And she says, okay. This weekend, you were open, you had full service outdoors, way past 10. You weren't even considering closing at 10. When I went by an election night, one of the tables, there's only a few tables, but one of them was only 4 people. Really drunk and really loud. So to me, not following stipulations is like how do you establish trust? And, you know, again, we spent a lot of time on, trying to make this work out, so that was a big issue to me. I do need to go through our history when you had the illegal enclosed sidewalk cafe. And I talked to you about that, and you told me DOT had told you that if you gave me very specific details, if you had an operable window, if you had airflow, all that stuff. I went to DOT, I got, all they told me was to take it down. And then when I saw you, it's what they said. When I saw you later, at a meeting, and I said, why didn't you take it down? And you told me that someone was taking care of it for you, fixing the issue for you. And I spoke to him, and he said, no, that's not true. I'm trying to get legislation to make this legal and not fixing anything, and it wasn't taken down immediately like it should have been, so. I really don't enjoy doing this, I'm sorry, but there is a history here of not following. This is in addition and totally separate from all the the complaints that I have received. But to me, it's really, really important when the community board and when I tried and work, especially I spent way too much time on that closed sidewalk cafe. Till it was finally taken down. It should have been taken down immediately. It should never have been put up. There was never a permit to put it up. So that's what I have to say.
Okay, thank you, Susan. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and move to some of the members of the public that are here to speak. So whenever I call you to speak, do you want to come up and just grab one of the microphones and just hit the power button on it? It's right down here in the bottom. First, we have Jeremy Hurley.
Hi.
And again, everyone, I'll set a timer for
Sure,
you
sure.
so that.
I lived on St. Mark's Place for 50 years, seen a reincarnation of the wonderfulness. I don't recall Dallas Barbecue ever being open past midnight, but that's just me. Jack Dog was a place they have down on 13th Street. The only reason they removed their outdoor speakers is because somebody crashed their bar licensing meeting here and complained about it, and then Kurt directed one of their employees to remove it. So they're incentivized, they're transactional. The noise from their establishment, while it doesn't directly boom, boom, boom into our building, the ancillary noise, the Ubers pulling up, the kids smoking cigarettes, the traffic, the general energy on the block Thursday, Friday, and Saturday it's not a safe place. And the idea that being a bar being open until 4 AM is going to somehow offer succor to the weary traveler in 2025 is just ludicrous to me. It just doesn't make any sense. And the reason why so many businesses in the East Village are empty is because prices are too high. There's actual capital reasons why these businesses aren't flourishing, and it has nothing to do with being allowed to be open till 4 in the morning. Again, something I heard here during one of these meetings with somebody else, and I don't know these people. I don't really, any interaction I've had has actually been pleasant. But I think somebody said, right group, wrong location. This is not the location for a 4 AM close. We're residential. There's nothing but residential around them. The building across the street is the Art Photos, it's the bank. But basically, this is a residential block that up until Mary Lou's moved in was the quiet block of St. Mark's Run. Second and third, first and A, this noise, whatever. Our block was the gateway, and the building's pretty quiet. We have kids and older people, and that's what we are. The building's filled with longtime East Village residents and new families who are trying to establish it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next we have Tom Wang. Yeah, it's already on, so.
Hi, I'm Tom. I also live at 51 St. Mark's. I've lived here for 10 years. I'm raising a toddler in the neighborhood. And frankly, we love small businesses in East Village. We want them to thrive, but there ultimately needs to be a balance between the quality of life of the people who live here, and those small businesses thriving. Structurally, something open till 4 AM with DJs, that's just challenging. And I think I can speak pretty candidly for myself as a parent, amongst other parents who are here and parents who are not here, that we simply don't feel that the extension of those hours meets that balance at all. For all the aforementioned reasons that Jeremy has mentioned, that other folks have mentioned, that we have personally experienced with the noise levels, we simply don't feel that that strikes. And so, unfortunately, we don't feel that, or I don't feel that, I can stick both.
Okay. Thank you. Next we have Violet Lu. Yes, so here.
Hey there, my name is Violet. I live directly above Cafe Law and I'm here to close the Florian opening. Since they opened about a year and a half ago, my mom and I, she's here, have dealt with the constant noise issues, mainly from the loud music at home. It took many months of back and forth before they finally installed somewhat better soundproofing. Before that, it was almost impossible to sleep, especially on Thursday through Saturday nights. Still they tend to hype up the music and bass bass on those weekend nights, making it still difficult to sleep. Additionally, they often keep their outdoor seating open past the 10 PM limit, which is what mentioned, which adds more street noise and continues to affect our ability to rest. I understand that the restaurants and nightlife are important to the neighborhood's energy, but their needs need to be balanced between that and the right of our residents to have peace and quiet in their homes. Allowing them to stay open past 4 till 4 AM on every night would make that not impossible for those of us living directly above and those in the rest of the neighborhood. Include for your time.
Thank you. Okay, next we have Shuping Lu.
Yeah, my name is Shuping Lu. I'm a resident living directly above the Cafe Mall. In the first year after their opening in the summer of 2024, I barely had a single night without being bothered by their loud music, intruding into my apartment and physically shaking my floor. A few months ago, they finally started to work on improving their soundproof. However, I can still clearly hear their heavy bass notes when they choose to be loud, which is on most weekend nights. It keeps me awake until their closing time, which is 2 AM. My biological clock wakes me up around 7 AM, no matter how late I went to sleep. So not being able to fall asleep at my normal bedtime makes me feel drowsy and tired during the daytime, and it usually takes a few days to recover. My quality of life has been significantly undermined. I strongly oppose any extension of the business hours of Cafe Mall. I sincerely request that the board deny their application. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next we have. I'm gonna go with Steve. It's 61 St. Mark's.
Me, Sheila?
Oh, there we go, Sheila. Sheila, 61 St. Mark's.
I,
Sorry.
You call me Steve.
No, that was my fault.
I just want to say first that I'm in a little weird position because I really love the people who are opposed. They're my neighbors, they're my friends, they've been really supportive of me. The people at Cafe Mon have also been, I know them for much less time. I came here and supported them. I don't go out late at night, so I don't know about any of that. But what I do know is as far as community, when I first went in, when they first opened, they were so friendly when I told them I lived on the block. And they've always just treated me like really, really well. And then I got really sick and these people helped me a lot. I know Jeremy longer than I know my husband, right? And these guys helped me. And people on this board helped me. And these guys tried to fatten me up when I was better able to eat. And I just feel like they're just such a great community place, unlike that we have, like, you know, not a lot of places are like them that I meet my friend Donna, who can't be here tonight, who lives across the street, also loves them for coffee. It's like a really neighborly place for me. I think if they could mitigate the circumstances of, oh, I also went there today and looked at the bar. It's not, I don't know how that's making noise. I mean, I could see next door that Brasserie has an open backyard and live events with live music all the time. But they don't have live music from my understanding, so I'm kind of a little bit confused about where the noise is really coming from, number one. And then I want to say one more thing, as far as the noise on the block, we had Jules. And Jules, I don't care about music, I don't care about French jazz music late at 2 AM, it makes me feel like I'm in a movie. But my neighbors really hated it, and Jules would never shut their doors. So we've had like a lot on the block, and Cafe was crazy. I feel like our block is crazy at night with people weekends. I don't think it's anything to do with them. I think we have more problems from the Los Angeles bar, especially if the Dodgers are in the playoffs.
Which is all the
You know,
time.
which is all the time, and I couldn't see it 3 weeks ago because of that. So I just want to say, as far as community wise, I know Donna would be here, she couldn't. But I think they're great guys, and I hope if they could mitigate the circumstances, and they've just been so sweet to me from the very beginning. So I'm here to just say, please mitigate those circumstances. So, oh, and I moved here in 78 and I was a waitress and I got off at 1 AM and I went to bars till 4 AM. There's hardly anywhere to go now for young people. I want young people to still love New York, 24-hour New York. I don't think we have 24-hour New York. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheila. The next person we have is Yvonne Collery. Oh, it's on.
Oh, it's on.
Yeah.
Hi, okay, I
I'll
live,
get closer too.
okay. Yes, I live on the next block on Second Avenue. And I am opposed to the staying open till 4 in the morning. Because as Jeremy pointed out, there's the crazy foot traffic. The people just giving and hollering, which is, it's fun if you're one of them, but if. Again, this is a residential strip. And it's very, very hard to go to sleep on the weekends. So if it's open already to 2 AM, I don't think that it should be, because it sets a precedent. There's already so many other bars, and then to get the DJ kind of turns it into a club. That's the perception, and then what if someone on the next block wants to do it, and they say, oh, well, but it sets to me a very bad precedent. And as a longtime resident, I hope that the board votes against that. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so that took care of the people we have in person. Do you think there are some people on Zoom that wanted to speak to this item? Laura. Okay, so I think we're gonna go ahead and start with Laura Sewell. We promoted you.
Yes, thank you. I'm Laura Sewell. I'm the director of the East Village Community Coalition. And we were approached by residents of the building after we spoke at a community board meeting last winter, who were asking our help to try to mitigate the circumstances they were experiencing. They have been doing something that's very common where everyone's trying to get along and texting back and forth and saying to the manager and saying, please turn it down. But over time, it's essentially not effective because residents are being bothered in their apartments late at night. And the fact that they would have to call or text is really not acceptable. Their sound should not be audible in their apartments to a level that it's waking people up or keeping people up. So I'd like to say I completely agree with the residents who think we don't need another 4 AM bar at this location. There are plenty of places to go out and stay until 4 AM. These were the stipulations that were agreed to. it is not a problem. You know, several business models like this are not a problem when they're operating during the day as restaurants and cafes, and they're good additions to the neighborhood. But at night, this is a place that is full and crowded and is about the drinks, and people get very loud. And I've also observed people on the sidewalk long after 10 p.m. So I'll just say that we have worked effectively with the CB3 and bar operators to have a professional sound engineer come in and perhaps put a limiter on the system. It's often an enthusiastic bartender that turns it up, and it's just too much for the people to be playing a constant cat and mouse game. So I hope your attorney, Michael Palutis, has worked with us on this and can certainly offer you, smooth the way. But we absolutely cannot support this, especially not under these circumstances that are going on right now. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Laura. Okay, I think we have Griffin. Please go ahead.
Yes, hi. My name is Griffin Hansberry. I've lived in the East Village for 30 years, and I moved to 51 St. Mark's a few years ago, in part to move to a quieter block than where I was before. I do oppose this change. I'm a big supporter of small business through my blog Vanishing New York and my organization Save NYC, and with 10 locations, this is not a small business. This is a stealth chain. And to go until 4 a.m. With DJs is also, that's a nightclub. And we deal with a lot of noise on this block encroaching from the corners. And the East Village, as many people have pointed out, has plenty of places for kids to scream and yell. And this is a corner that I avoid at night when I'm coming home or going out. I don't like to walk past this corner. I cross the street to avoid it because of the crowding and the kinds of kids who are out there. So I am opposed. Thank you.
Griffin, actually, I just have one quick question, not related to
Yeah.
design. You said you moved to this block to be in a quieter space. Where were you moving from?
I was on 7th Street and First Avenue on the corner.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's much quieter.
Yeah, it's much quieter.
Okay, moving on to, okay, so I think that's it. We have no other people online in Zoom, and everyone here has spoken. Okay, so I think we're gonna give the applicants a chance to respond to what they just heard.
Yeah, thanks. Obviously tough to hear all of that about our business, but I suppose we didn't, we came here knowing it was an uphill battle. Two things I suppose particularly that stood out there was something that was recently brought to light to us was that there's a courtyard patio attached to one of the, and this is not us pointing the finger at other businesses by any means.
We're well aware of.
But attached to an establishment right beside us, that parties at night or whatever, and it's in the alleyway at the back of the buildings. It's quite deep into the residential area. We didn't know that we were getting the finger pointed at us for that until honestly this week.
Last
week.
NYPD came.
They came, they said it can't be here. They went sniffing around and found out that it wasn't us. And apparently that has been happening and ongoing for a while. That has happened on a number of occasions where I think you named how many times the cops are actually called out to us. Not once have we, and I'm sure it's probably documented there, have we been reprimanded by them in any fashion.
So the non-crime corrected, it's just when they show up and there was a problem. It's not about, they don't issue a citation. It's just when they show, and usually what it is, they show up and they say, close your windows or turn down the music. It's
Again, yeah.
but they wouldn't document it as your location, your address, if they were speaking to someone next door. That's why we differentiate between the total number of calls and then the number that are non-crime corrected. That's more of what we pay attention to. The other calls could very well be from the neighbor. And that mean, and then it's recorded as the police showed up and found no evidence of a problem.
Okay.
So I think I listed, was it 54 total and 17?
Yeah.
So those 17 are more of what we pay attention to.
Okay.
That's when the police showed up and said, again, it's not a fine, it's just,
Yeah.
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 The other ones could very well be from the neighbor. So
We're trying to work directly with our upstairs neighbor.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was obviously one issue that like. I feel like obviously we're the most prominent establishment on the block now, and just by, we have maybe like 100 linear foot around the corner. We're also surrounded by 2 other pretty busy establishments, regardless of what's happening. Again, and those 17 calls pointing at us, I do think that like people's first reaction is look out the window, it's Cafe Mod, and you know, to say that the block is busy and people are walking the streets on St. Mark's and Second Avenue, and then, you know, whether you be residents or anybody to reprimand us for the streets being busy, I don't think that kind of pertains to what we're talking about here. Especially at 4 a.m. I think like the majority of groups and whatever that are leaving at 4 a.m. people are leaving at 2s and 3s. There's not, you know, 150 people in place at 4 a.m. But I suppose, yeah, I mean,
Something we spoke about at 2 a.m, you know, we stopped serving at like say 1:40, 1:45, so we can have the premise clear, but we're actually releasing the guts of the bar at that time onto the street, and we figured a little bit later people will organically leave.
it's just here.
Oh, it's not.
It's flashing though, which I don't know what that means. It may be dying.
Oh, yeah.
Does, when it flashes red, Susan, does that mean it's dying?
That means the battery's dying.
Okay,
Here.
here, take this one.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Yeah, just,
Yeah.
I saw it fly, we want, just so that people can hear me.
Just more so that, like, I think a little later, people organically leave rather than at 2 a.m. where we're like kind of ushering them out the door. I think something that's hard to hear for, like, both of us live in Manhattan. I've been in New York 15 years and Ronnie's been there 14. Think like we don't want to be a hindrance to the community. I feel like we're not. We've created a lot of employment within these 30, 10, 15 blocks. Part of, the local women's soccer league here, we sponsor them, we have our own soccer team and local, we're very prominent around there, so it is hard to hear residents that will be upset. That's not what we're here for, we just are asking for a little bit of leniency with the later hours. Think when it comes to holidays, bank holiday Mondays, say Thanksgiving coming on Thursday, like we have to close at midnight those nights, we don't have any leeway at all to stay open. Because right now it's just 2 o'clock Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and that's sort of what we're looking for. I think the other thing Ronan wanted to speak about was the DJ. The reason we were asking for the DJ was we had worked with the neighbors upstairs, and one of the issues was the bass, which we've pretty much figured out, bought soundproofing. You'll see it's at the back of that docket. But the other thing was that the DJ is actually able to control the volume, because Shuping had let us know that sometimes certain song will come on and it'll jump quickly, and that's plainly, like I think somebody said, it could be an excited bartender, but often it's Spotify the way it works. It's just different levels. And with
the difference between playing music from an iPod, you have no control. You have volume up a little bit, down a little bit, and that's it. But if the songs go from one to another, there could be bass on the second song, a higher pitch.
So, just what you can do, and I mean, if you're working with a sound engineer, and all the whether it's an iPod, whether it's a DJ going through your sound system, the sound engineers will set up the system so that there's a digital limiter on it. It doesn't matter whether the Spotify goes up and down or the iPod goes up and down, the music level stays the exact same thing. That's a digital limiter that, I don't know, I mean, I just went through your sound and stuff, it was for installation, but I don't know if you were having a sound engineer actually set up your system, but that is the key to preventing, if it really is the Spotify changing, but it also, if there's a digital limiter, and let's just hypothetically say we're adding the DJ, if there's a digital limiter on the system and the DJ is playing through the same system, that prevents the DJ from being able to change the volume too. The sound engineer comes in, does audio testing in the apartments above, and says, at this level, it cannot be heard in the apartments above. It cannot exceed this level, and the system is set at that. So that there's no one, whether it's your bartender, whether it's your DJ, whether it's anyone else, can change the music to its louder. It is set at the maximum level. We've done that in many, many places. So, you know, and that may be a case of different songs at different levels, but
That was just a comment by somebody
Yeah.
that lives upstairs.
Which
So
maybe-
our response to
that actually may be what's
give
happening
some-
now. I'm not saying it's not, but a sound engineer setting up your system would prevent all that from happening. And I'm not sure with your other spaces, if you work with, you know, sound engineers or you have the system set up like that, but that is a common thing that a sound engineer will come in and do.
Yeah, we did have a sound engineer come and they were in.
Testing two
Yeah,
departments, yeah.
And did they do anything with your system or just soundproofing? Cause I think it needs to be both, need to go hand in hand.
yeah, I think a lot of, I know this is obviously gonna sound, from me, but a lot of the noise was actually external noise. Saying it's coming from, obviously St. Mark's a busy block or whatever, but yes, we did, our engineer has come and like, put all the limitations in place. And there's a report from Kevin in there as well.
Not that, it's one that was in.
Which was even steps.
Evan Denham, engineering.
But yeah, again, we just want to say, we're not here to be a problem in the neighborhood, we absolutely do not want to be, I think Shuping would be, she's the only person that we've really had direct dealings with about the noise, no other residents have come like until.
Well, and I don't, that there were residents, there was another apartment that was having problems as well, that moved out at the beginning of this year, so. They said they reached out, they did not move out because of the problem, but the problems continued until they moved out, was what they told us.
When did the sound engineer come?
Probably last, was it March maybe?
Yeah, that actually after the sound engineer already he did something, but did not change anything at all. The real change started was when like after this summer, you bought something.
Yeah, it's in there, yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like
The stuff on the last page has actually been more successful than the tens of thousands spent beforehand.
Yeah, but still the problem goes on because some they hike the music, still hike the music above the limitation of the that would do.
And I mean, your original stipulations where you were supposed to have background music.
Yeah.
The live music was even to be at background level. It sounds like, just in general, that it's not being played at background level.
I mean, I think
Like
like,
background level is when you can have a conversation.
right, and
When you read a lot of the Google reviews, there was, and I know I don't put a lot of stock into them, or Yelp reviews, sorry. A lot of the Yelp reviews, several of them were mentioning the food was great, it was great ambiance, but it was so loud we had to leave because we couldn't talk to each other.
So part of that issue is because we put a lot of smaller speakers in there because they're less loud to go up, but they tend to be above a lot of the tables, so then people don't like it.
But that's still not background music. If it's so loud that people are complaining that they can't talk to each other sitting at a table, that's not background level.
yeah, I mean, it's
It's loud without music and.
Yeah, I mean, if
So I just,
if we're a fully seated restaurant and we're not playing any music at all, it's loud.
it's loud, I mean, but
That's the
then,
reality.
but I assume what's happening then is you're turning the music up above the fully seated voices. So then it becomes loud and it becomes a problem. That's, sounds to be like from what she's saying, when she said when she texts you, the music would go down and then later it would go back up.
So I have, you know, me and Shuping in particular have had, probably since the summer, have had a pretty strong relationship, and it's been pretty positive because she has helped us in terms of the communication and like what's worked, what doesn't work in real time, or we've had weekly check-ins, and myself and herself, whether we meet once a week outside the building or we get on a call and catch up. But what has been difficult for me to navigate and understand is it's been sporadic, right? One, there are a number of constants in the store: the management, the staff, the playlist, and the hours of operation. Right? They're pretty consistent, particularly Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. The crowd is the same, a lot of the same customers come. But I mean, in all the communications that I have with Shuping in probably, you know, a decent amount of time now, enough to really get a gauge on it, it's been sporadic, whether she's had a great night's sleep or she's been woken up by the store. So I'm kind of left having done a lot of work on soundproofing, a lot of work on communicating, a lot of work on trying to figure out, but only recently finding out that there's a back patio that's pointing the finger at us. Again, not pointing the finger at other businesses, but you know, I'm kind of at a loss because I wonder what did we do differently on the night where she said she couldn't hear a thing, which happened this Friday just gone by. And then, you know, 2 Fridays before that, when she couldn't sleep, even though the management, the people playing the music, the sound, the playlist, everything was the same.
It could come from the
It's
management
difficult.
today was that the bartender telling that we need to turn the music up and we're constantly.
But
saying,
management was the only person that
Yeah.
has control over the sound.
So.
So
One of
Susie
those,
had a question or comment.
So one of the reasons that there's a lot of noise is we have stipulations to close at 10 because of the noise. So this is 10:30 on Saturday night. This is after I already have spoken on Tuesday night to the manager saying that you have to close. It's only a half hour past, but there's clearly, there's not gonna be, it's not gonna be closed at 11. So I don't hear any accountability. You did promise on 2 different sets of stipulations to close the outdoors at 10, and you're not doing it. The reason we do that is because of noise. You know, that's not an outdoor, somebody else's patio. I don't hear accountability. I don't understand why you're not following your stipulations. I don't understand why you at one point built an outdoor closed illegal cafe when you didn't have a permit to do that. When DOT came, I don't understand why it took so many months for you to finally take it down. I know you've been working with soundproofing, but these other things, there was just no reason for it. I'm gonna also say, as far as saying the Spotify music jumps up, you guys have been in business a long time. You know how to control that. I know how to control it, and I haven't been in business for one day. So I think that we have to see compliance. We really have to see compliance. You're taking police time, you're taking my time, with these, if I have to go look at outdoor seating that's not in compliance, that's not what I should have to be doing. I would like to see this business comply for a while and create that kind of trust.
So I also have another question as well, sort of along those lines. What are you doing with the Rhymers Club? So I know it's technically connected inside, but it seems like you're starting to operate it almost as a separate business. Have you filed with the SLA for a change of UBA for that space?
No, it's just like what we call the back room.
But you have branding on the door and on the outside building saying the Rhymers Club. You have a separate website for the Rhymers Club. To me, and I'm not sure of the SLA, I actually didn't get into this time and soon enough to check with the SLA about this, but my understanding, I think, is that you can't do that without filing for a change of DBA.
You absolutely have to do that.
So, and I know it's still connected inside, but you have a separate website, and for people walking down the street, it's 2 separate entrances with different branding and everything else. That appears to be a separate business.
So the way we're operating it and the understanding that we have of it is same way if it was downstairs. And we had a downstairs bar. And we called it a different name to just give it its own identity. Or say when we're booking it on Resi, it has its own, it's its own section or whatever. And just to create some allure and something different so that we're not.
So my question is though,
Did it say members, is there a separate corporation?
No, Steve, it's the exact same liquor, the bar is licensed also, both bars are fully licensed.
under one license.
Correct,
Yes.
yeah.
But that's, and I'm not sure the legality of it,
I mean, if it is an issue, it's not a problem to change the DBA, that's no problem at all.
Oh, I know,
We're under the understanding that we are operating legally and correctly.
And this is what I'm starting to question is, if you were originally under under the idea that you were doing your outdoor cafe correctly, and you said the DOT gave you permission, and we found out from DOT that you were actually cited for it, not that they gave you permission to do it.
I didn't get a chance to respond to that, so. Whatever.
Well, I would actually like to hear what you had to say about that. I was on those emails and we were part of it, so.
So, first of all, we never operated without a license.
No, you operated without a license.
She
He
did.
said, no, I did not.
No,
I
you
said
had it
you
in
did
closed
not
sidewalk
have
cafe. I saw the emails. I went back and read them this morning. You said the DOT told you were allowed to do it with operable windows.
They did.
But we have paperwork from the
I
DOT that they have
understand.
already come out and fined you for it.
Yeah.
Before you told Susan that in an email. The
Okay.
DOT paperwork was dated before the fine, and their violation was dated before you told Susan that.
I understand, and she was asking why we erected it. And I said, because the first time we spoke to a representative that came out on the street, because it was a long time before that happened after the rules were released. And so, you can't, to be fair, it was very kind of unclear to everybody at the start, like how to navigate the rules. We
No,
did.
This was last year in like.
I understand,
May of
yeah.
last year. It wasn't that unclear. It was already part
I
of the
would
program.
disagree, but regardless, we went forward, we put an outdoor structure up based on what we thought was gonna comply with what was written on the rules. When the first person came around from DOT, they said, okay, how does this comply? And then to be honest, we came by, no issue. Second time we came by and he said it needed to be open air. And this is where the issue arose. And we said, okay, how can we manipulate this structure to make it satisfy that? And the suggestion was roll up windows so that obviously then if everything rolls up, it's fully open air. The person from DOT who came out to the store.
Not
So-
what it says in my.
I understand, but you know what, I gotta say, as a bar owner myself, like these DOT inspectors come around, they were.
But
Not all of them,
told that.
not all of them moved the rules and they had mixed messages.
And this is
But
before
I
we
told
spoke.
them.
But not before we
But you
spoke.
still didn't
Yeah.
take it down.
But
We did have to leave. We
No,
we
not
spoke.
for a long
No,
time.
it was, the point was, and you are correct, and I know, I've heard from other people that happened, 100%.
But they had.
But their
written things
citation,
that You must take this
the
down.
citation they
I
received
see it.
was dated prior to the emails with Susan that he sent us, saying, we're allowed to have it. And Susan, do you have the paperwork? And he
The
didn't.
citation was for it being fully enclosed.
Yes.
He said to get the operable windows, so then we had the.
But the
operable-
citation did not say, the citation didn't say that. The person I think that was out told you that. I'm not disagreeing with that.
And look, we understand that all this stuff is in writing and dated and everything, so like, we're obviously not gonna be able to like pull the wool over your eyes, clearly. Nor
Not
would we
trying
be,
to do that.
nor would we be genuinely stupid enough to do that, to be honest. But this is exactly what happened, is what I'm telling you. We spoke to a person who told us that would satisfy it. By the time, and bear in mind, there are very few people in the city who actually erect these structures. When it gets cold, they're inundated with work. When you try and get them during the winter, it's very difficult to get them, particularly at a time you want them to.
But you're
like-
not allowed to do it in the winter either. You're not allowed to have any closed sidewalk.
No, I
cafe.
understand that, that's what I'm saying, but trying to get them back to remedy the issue that we had, rather than take down the complete structure, which was gonna be obviously difficult as well, to even get these people to come here and get their hands on it without doing it ourselves. To schedule them to put in these roll-ups that they said that we were told on the street were gonna satisfy it. Why would we go to the expense if we didn't believe it was gonna satisfy it? It was a significant expense.
We're also trying to keep people in work as well.
So in the interim,
Writing, you must remove this.
I understand.
DOT in writing said,
And we
you
took it
must
down.
remove this.
I understand, but before that.
And
we were
then
told-
I
see,
told
this
you
feels
that
like
you
that.
must remove it.
What?
And then
So-
you went and talked to Andrew Ridgey, and then you came back to me and said, oh, Andrew's gonna fix it.
And we since found out that there are actually.
That's not what he did.
place for sidewalk.
Well, there is now,
And
but that wasn't then.
I understand that there's, you would try to remedy something instead of completely taking it down, because if there was a way to appeal the decision or make it right, you'd rather go down that right and obviously not use all of that business outside. I understand that. My issue with this is that you're coming back after a year, which, you know, sometimes, well, I don't know what we used to say before I got on this committee about people being able to come back and look for an extension of hours. But even when it was just like, yeah, if you're operating like the cleanest, most spectacular possible way, you know, it doesn't seem like that's happening, unfortunately. Like there's still neighbors complaining about noise, and I understand you put in a lot to this soundproofing. I know how expensive soundproofing is. But the people around you still not have, it just seems like there's still some work to be done in that regard.
And that's why we're here. We're here to get
Would you
to.
address the stipulations for the outdoor?
Yeah, and I
That
think,
that would be, well, I'll take full accountability for that, and that would be sort of remedy from today going forward. That's a mistake.
but here's, I think,
The closing.
Yeah,
at
that's
10
a
p.m.
complete mistake on our end.
but I think what, and I'm gonna pile on what Megan's saying. It's all these little things, that if it was those one little things, but it's a lot of little things that just isn't giving me confidence in, and I've been to your space, I've been to your space during the day, I've been to your space, not at 2 AM, but later in the evening too. And in general, especially earlier, it's not a big deal, and I understand why neighbors would appreciate it. But I'm not confident, and just, you know, also not knowing about a limiter on the sound equipment and stuff. I'm not blaming you for that, but it's a lot of little things that I'm just not confident that you're addressing all the issues that you're hearing. And, you know, as what Megan was saying, if, you know, you've only been operating a little over a year, if it was perfect during that time, we might be having a different conversation. But and if it was one little minor thing, like maybe if it was just the outdoor space, I know that the DOT was giving mixed signals. But it's that, coupled with the noise, coupled with going through the MEND process and still having noise. Coupled with, and I don't know what the answer is over the DBA thing. There's a lot of little things, and then operate, you know, extending past the 10 AM, the 10 PM closing. It's all these little things that, to me, you haven't shown to be the best operator. These are all little things, and I'm not saying you're the worst in any way, but it's all little things that, to me, I'm just not confident that you're where you need to be for us to be rewarding you with an extension.
Especially with the new, with our new policies that we voted a couple of, like, years ago. We've become just very strict on extending hours of operation. And yeah, I think you really need to show like an impeccable record in order for us to extend the hours and, you know, hold there yet.
Extend the hours at any pace at all.
I'm not. I don't know about anyone else. I'm not comfortable with any extension at the moment for me. I don't know. Not
Because I think personally, like to come here and at least come away with something, I think regardless of like whatever it is that you guys would suggest, if it was any deviation, like we would consider it.
I'm not speaking for anyone else on the committee. I'm not comfortable at the moment extending them at all until we see a period of time, not just a month or two, but a period of time where there's an improvement, where it's you are closing your doors and windows and all outdoor space and it's a 10, which is gonna be well, no, you're actually a sidewalk cafe, so you can keep it up after November 29th. But, you know, for me, I need to see there is a bigger picture of, you know, dealing with some of the issues and following all the rules all around, for me personally.
Yeah, and I mean, I would be open, I mean, closing at 12 o'clock is tough during the week. I would be open to later hours during the week. But that'd be after seeing some sort of more improvement with the noise and the following rules.
So what period of time, you know, to kind of address this and like kind of go.
I mean, we generally don't, and I don't know, I wasn't on the committee, I was off for a period of time in 22, so I don't know what was told you then. We generally don't say, we try to avoid saying any kind of period of time, because that gives you the illusion you can come back in a year, and if things aren't great in a year, we're not gonna probably approve it in a year.
Sure.
If things have changed drastically in a year and everyone is perfectly happy, you'd probably be willing to discuss it, but we're not, what I'm gonna advise you not to do, don't come back in May. You know, because between now and May, it's gonna be mostly inside stuff anyways, and a lot of the problems may not happen that we have anyways. So I'm not gonna give you a time frame. I'm just gonna say it needs to be a long enough period of time so that we can see you operating through a couple different seasons, so that we see that you've improved. But I'm,
Pretty
yeah, I'm not-
tough to hear if you think that we're not a good operator. and, you know,
well, I'm not saying, please don't take it that way. I'm not saying you're bad operators. There's a lot of worse operators in the neighborhood than you, so we're not saying you're bad. It's just a lot of these little things that I feel like you may have overlooked.
Well, and also, it doesn't mean that you're bad operators, sometimes you just have like, these East Village spaces are hard and like with the brick walls and they're old buildings, and like sometimes you just need to work with the space that you have, and sometimes you don't find a solution in a few months, and sometimes you don't find it on the first go with the first meeting with the sound engineer, like you have to keep on. I've had problem neighbors or neighbors who have complained about noise before in the past, and it's taken years to fix and get right, and it sucks, but like you just have to keep at it until they're happy and
Yeah,
until
and
it's
that's why
solved.
we're here. We
Yeah.
wanna keep working, with the neighbors, and like, we're part, like I said, we're part of the community and we wanna be part of it, not a hindrance. So like, we appreciate that everybody came out to speak either for or against us, like, and we're happy to like meet and try to figure this out, and like you said, we're not trying to have people there till 4 a.m. It's not a club, like to hear somebody say it's a club, that's not the case, like, it's just more so for a little bit of room.
And the one other thing that I think is probably causing a problem for you. BBQ's had a 4 AM license. I don't think they had any limitations on their hours.
Yeah.
And they were never open at 4 AM. I think they closed, I don't even know what, but they were not a 4 AM business. And it also wasn't, they didn't have the loud sound system or the loud music. It was a barbecue place where they did have their big frozen drinks that people went for. It was a different type of business. So I think that's why some of the problems are now showing up when you moved in.
I'm the neighbor as well.
That,
Yeah,
and I do think,
Yeah.
but I think some of it coming specifically from Chopin, who said, she texts you when it gets quiet and then it gets louder a little bit later. So it does sound like someone is turning it up. And
I'd like to ask you to speak to your manager, because Tuesday night, I spoke to the waitress outside.
Yeah.
She went and called the manager came out, and I explained to her about closing at 10. And yet, she obviously didn't go back and talk to you. There wasn't any changes made. I mean, this was.
Yeah, I think you were talking to the waitress.
What?
The manager said by the time you came, you were gone. It was a waitress who was speaking, but
No, the waitress said to me, I will go call my manager, and then another woman came out.
there's no, in that location, you don't have a female manager.
Well, that's
Right.
what, maybe it wasn't the manager, I'm telling you what they told me. But clearly, somebody didn't come back and talk to you because you didn't rectify the situation. And you keep talking about fixing the indoor noise, but you consciously violated the stipulations. That has nothing even to do with not understanding DOT or anything else. I think that's really, really important. I'm
Like
sorry.
I said, we take accountability for that, and from this day forward, it won't be an issue.
And I'm glad to hear that,
Yeah.
but I do say, I don't think there was any excuse for it. I think you were obligated to follow what you promised.
I just told you when you say it. So
It wasn't I'm sorry, that's not a mistake. We have to depend on businesses, and this is for everybody. We have to trust the businesses that they will follow what they promise, and a lot do. You can't just say a year later it was a mistake. I'm sorry, that's not being a good business operator.
So what I would like to suggest or just offer is that, what we've had, and we've done this with several, I personally accompanied several other businesses in doing this, where they bring their sound engineer in, they go and they arrange with the person that lives above them, they go in, they turn their music on. You go upstairs, you hear it. And this was middle of the day when there's no one else, that it can't be anyone else. I've been there. I went up to the woman's bedroom with her, with the sound engineer, and it did sound like she was almost in the bar. And then we went back downstairs and he took a reading of the sound and he's like, this is like 20 decibels way too high. You should never ever, and this was what they said they played it at. And he said, your music should never ever be this loud at all. Then he suggested soundproofing, he suggested a limiter, they moved speakers, they did all that. Went back and the woman has said there's been no complaint since, when they followed all the things that the sound engineer suggested. And then she's been happy since then, and she's able to sleep at night. So, and I know you've done some work. It just sounds like you may need to do a little bit more. And I do know that, you know, there were 3 other girls that moved, again, not because of you. But they said up until when they moved in January, they were still having the problems. And I think you said you did the soundproofing after that anyways.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know, I just, so, again, I'll leave that. Yeah, I'm not comfortable approving any extension for the DJ at the moment. And, yes.
I think, you know, we as a committee are generally like trying to give operators a fair shake. And coming into this meeting, and I was like, okay, you know, they would ask for 4 AM, and I was like, considering, all right, maybe we can scale it back, or help these guys out, and maybe get them later hours in a few days. However, like given the concerns of the community and the issues Susan brought up, and documented evidence of some issues, the outdoor dining very late. You know, I think maybe we'll have to see some more improvement. It sounds like you guys want to do it. Be operators. You have like over a dozen businesses, bars in Manhattan. So I know you guys could do it.
We will do work for a month.
And what I would suggest, as far as the place next to you, we've met him several times and
Maybe we can work with them. We'll try.
good luck. But I would suggest, if the problems are continued, you're hearing the noise, let Susan know. Susan can work with you and with DOB or DEP or whoever, if there's issues there as well, that you don't want to get blamed for. So,
What about the holidays, Sundays and Wednesdays? Is that something we could look at?
well, the problem is, unfortunately, we can't, the SLA doesn't give us an option of having it just for a day. New Year's,
Only for New Year's.
New Year's Eve, they allow you to apply for a special permit, but
Yeah.
we can't stipulate otherwise. They don't allow us just to do like.
I've already made the apply for it.
So unfortunately, I mean, yeah, if we had that flexibility of it, would give us that option, so.
So voting, I
Yeah.
guess, let's
Well,
go.
that's- Well,
We're here, might as well.
Here, no, might as well here.
no, I mean, you're welcome to, I didn't know it was even going to where withdraw. I was gonna make a motion that we are not, we would deny the application for an extension of hours and for a TJ. And then move that to a vote if. Okay, Guillermo? So no, it's a,
Oh, sorry.
my motion was to deny the application.
I see. Yes, so yes.
Okay, Megan?
Yes.
Yes, Michael?
Yes.
Okay, so,
Thanks.
was denied this time.
Thank you for coming and talking.
And
Thanks for your time.
And I would just,
Thank you.
I know you already talked to them, but I would just suggest working with them and, it may involve having someone here come up with her.
Yeah, thank you, thanks for your time.
Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
Can I make an announcement? It's nothing.
Yes. Go ahead.
You guys should.
Sorry, Jared.
So the announcement excuse me, can you guys be quiet, please? The announcement I wanted to make was that the Hospitality Alliance has a nonprofit. And they are working with local restaurant, eating, drinking places, to be able to serve people who've lost their SNAP benefits. So they have, so I want to encourage the businesses certainly to join in, but also let people know, let any of your neighbors who might have SNAP benefits know that they can apply to the Hospitality Alliance. We've already had 2 PTA groups. What they do is give basically $1,000 to spend in local restaurants for food for people that are lost SNAP benefits. So I just wanted to thank the Hospitality Alliance, but also to encourage businesses to participate and to encourage residents to let their neighbors know about this.
Okay, thank you, Susan. Okay, so we're gonna move on. I assume most of you are probably leaving. Thank you. You're welcome to stay for the rest of the time. Like, but if so, I'm gonna just give you a second to move out so that we can move on to the next item.
Thank you. You guys come back.
Let me ask you guys.
Thank you for coming. Thank you. Have a good night. Thank you.
Okay, so. Give me 1 second here just to get myself together for the next item.
Almost every night. So basically. That's a pity, man.
Okay, anyways, we're gonna move on now to. Item number 6, which is Tucson LLC at 10 Delancey Street. Thank you. Sure.
You guys don't have to bring paper or anything.
Yeah.
We don't.
No.
We haven't taken paper.
Yeah.
We can-
No, we have, like, it's already, I think, if,
It's all
has anybody, has anything changed or
I
updated?
appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Okay, we'll move.
Sometimes words that you work with get very upset.
Required.
Bring them,
Yeah,
so
we
we
just
just
make
make
it-
it fear on our part.
Yeah, as long as there, like, if there was some update, but if it's what you've emailed us already, it's been circulated around,
okay.
so like,
Great.
we're
I'll
okay.
bring you a copy.
I appreciate the alligator clip.
Yeah, you can keep that.
Okay, so just let me flip back over to, okay, so I'll just give a quick little summary and hand it over to you. So Two-Ton LLC doing business is to be determined, is seeking a full premise license for premises located at 10 Bowery, between Bowery and Christian Street. Oops. Yep. 10 Delancey, that's, I need to, 10 Delancey. Between Bowery and Christian Street, it's an application for an establishment of 74 people, 18 tables, 92 seats, including a stand-up bar with 18 seats and a back patio. Full kitchen, serving food during hours of operation, no TVs, movie, music played at background level. There are 18 full on-premises licenses within 500 feet. This location previously was Tampico Tequila Bar with a full OP license. The applicant never held a license. However, has owned and operated 18 bars and taverns. Has never owned a license in New York City, however, has operated and owned 18 bars and taverns in the Washington DC metro area. 24 residents who live within blocks of the location signed petition in favor of the application. They are proposing hours of opening earlier than 4 p.m., closing by 2 a.m. Sunday through Tuesday, and 4 a.m. Wednesday through Saturday. They close all of their dining week by 10 p.m. They will employ doorman or security personnel, will install soundproofing. Will play ambient background recording music only. Will not have live music DJ promoted events, scheduled performances, any event in which a cover fee is charged. Will not have unlimited drink specials. You didn't check out if you were gonna have happy hours. Ensure no wait lines or noise outside and post stipulation. Okay, so I'm gonna hand it over to you and you can go ahead and just add anything or make any correction to what I just said.
So there will be up to 74 seats total, including the backyard. So there's 18 seats in the backyard, 18 bar stools, and then the rest will be made of table seating. Within the restaurant, I sent over an updated stipulation form to Edwin earlier today, but you should have that one in front of you, but we do intend to have happy hours ending by 7 p.m. every night. The hours that we were looking for are the same as what the current operator has. And there will be no dancing. I wanted to address the soundproofing. There is soundproofing already in place. The applicants will be installing a lot more soundproofing with guidance from a noise consultant, including panels of what's called quiet rock, which is sheetrock designed for noise proofing, mass loaded vinyl soundproofing barriers and noise proofing compound. The backyard will be enclosed as well to keep the noise levels down back there. We did get some additional signatures from, I think, everyone in the building. Almost everyone in the building, and the surrounding 2 blocks. And with security, there's going to be a walkthrough tomorrow with the security company that they will be using.
So we don't have a written plan yet, and I'm happy to send that over when you do. And the applicant has currently 11 bars and restaurants in the DC area. There have been 40. A bunch over the years. So this is their first venture in New York. As Julia now lives here, they wanted to try something up here. But they are very experienced.
Never understood why this location changes hands so much. It's right next to the Bowery
Yeah.
Ballroom. Like, how does it not do, what happened in the past?
It's been
So many places.
Both sides of the block have gone through a lot of.
You go back to this, did 1 mile hospital along with them, right before.
A couple years, it wasn't.
I thought it was.
Yeah.
It was probably the longest term of several of the places that were through there, but.
But anyway, I did also want to add, there haven't been any 311 complaints for this address at all, at least since 2018, which is the farthest back that I could find.
I have a question too, just for Cliff, and then we're gonna move to the, I don't know if there's anyone here from, is there anyone here from the public? You're all with the applicant, right?
These are the operators.
The operators, yeah. Is there anyone on Zoom? Someone has their hands up? Okay, so we'll, but I do have just a clarification question, and do you have a C of O for the backyard? Is that included on the
It's
C of O?
included in the letter of no objection.
It is?
Yes,
Okay.
and I can send that over to the office if you want.
That's. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and move, wait, this hands up for a while, so Hassan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did the previous operators use the back door?
Yeah, they did. They had 18 seats back there.
1 mile did, and I think. Remember, I assume this Kilo place did too.
Yeah, they would.
Okay, so we have someone with their hand up, Hassan. I'm not sure if your hand up is for this item.
No.
Hassan, we promoted you. If you're here for this item, or if another item, just go ahead and let us know what you're here for. Yeah, if not. Oh, you went away.
Okay, put his hand down.
Okay, we did just, and I did mention this in the summary, we did receive an email. From the Bowery Block Association of Neighbors, she questioned, it seems, she said, which I didn't go back after I read the email, look, she said it's listed 8 pool tables, do you have 8 pool?
I spoke to Michelle,
Okay.
I think she was confused with the diagrams, there's no pool
There's no
tables.
room for 8 pool tables, and
There's,
that's.
yes, exactly.
It's
I mean, I
fine.
guess you could stack them maybe, but.
Yeah, okay, so that was the question, and then. She just questioned the closing hour should be closer to 1 AM during the week, Wednesday to Saturday, hours very much too late. That was her comment.
Yep.
So.
Yes, you did have that feedback.
Okay, so again, there's no one else here from the public, so committee, what are your thoughts or questions or comments on this?
The hours of operation are the same as the previous,
That was exactly my question.
yeah. I'm fine with this.
Thank you.
Any questions for you?
I think everything else is off. I just question.
Yeah, ask the lawyer more questions, so you get him on. Experts are.
Yeah, you got a good lesson and have a good neighbors.
Yeah.
We understand how serious you guys are, and all neighbors are, being up to the door.
Well, and the one thing I will say, even though the previous location we were speaking of, obviously there's a lot of residents. What people don't realize is there are still people that do live on the Bowery and live in that area, so.
Yes.
Not that I think you're going to, but you just can't go wild and crazy, because people do still live there.
Yeah, we actually do care, and we will take care of making sure we're running staff.
And the big thing, which I know you agreed to, was closing back outdoor space at 10 PM.
Yes.
You've already agreed to that, but that is an important thing too, just because even if it's just voices, they care.
I would also just say that you're probably gonna need to spend, just pay attention to safety on that block, because, there's a lot of, people, living around, in the park around the corner, and then you've got the patrons of the Bowery Ballroom, and, your patrons who are drinking. I just think the combination of all of them could be a little bit tricky, and, they wanna sort of make sure that you've got, licensed security guards and trained staff on that, so.
I know the Bowery folks pretty well now, talked about joining forces and, just making sure that.
This one wants
all of our eyes.
Yes, that's- It's the first one we made.
And I've been there pretty much every day, since we got the keys and we've built relationships with both the missions and the bank up around the corner.
Yeah.
And some of their members come over, so if there's ever an issue, they have contacts with them and they come around and it's definitely there's some issues there.
Were you referring to SPR fund?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. It's really gotten very serious. So there's a homicide that recently, a lot of other. We're trying to work out, but. just
Yeah, I
like
think
emphasize- someone emphasized what Megan said.
Yeah, well, we also want to help, I mean, we want to be a part of the community and do what we can to help. With that kind of thing, it's.
Well, so we may take you up on that because we may be having meetings and that sort of thing.
Okay. Okay, so then we're gonna go ahead and since you're the first one, we're actually gonna have like real stipulations and stuff that we'll put up tonight. So we're gonna just put the stipulations up on the screen. So you see what we'll go through. Okay, we'll make that tiny bit bigger, then I'm gonna read from there because I can't see that part. Okay, so it is, okay, yeah, feel free to go up, it's fine. It's I, Julian Dawson, is qualified representative of Two Ton LLC, located at 10 Delancey Street, New York, New York. Agree to the following stipulations. My license will be a full liquor license, will operate a bar or tavern with kitchen open and serving food during hours of operation. My hours of operation will be Monday to Tuesday, 4 p.m. to 2 a.m., Wednesday to Thursday, 4 p.m. to 4 a.m., Friday, Saturday, 12 p.m. to 4 a.m., Sunday, 12 p.m. to 2 a.m. I will close all outdoor dining allowed under the open restaurants program. That's actually an old stipulation form. We've now updated that to say the dining out New York program and any other outdoor use by 10 p.m. You're not having, you don't have, do you have a sidewalk cafe at all or intending on it? No. So it's just the backyard goes by 10. You will employ a doorman and security personnel. You will close any front rear facade doors and windows at 10 p.m. You will not have DJs, live music, third-party promoted events, any event which cover fee is charged, scheduled performances. Will have not more than 20 private parties per year. You'll play ambient recorded background music only. Will not apply for an alteration without coming to CB3. Will not participate in pub crawls or party buses. Will not have unlimited drink specials. You will have a happy hour limit by 7. Will not have wait lines outside. You'll have a staff person responsible for ensuring no loitering, noise, or crowds. Will post the stipulation by the license, and residents may contact the owner manager at the number below. Julian Dawson at 202-213-7797. Everything good? Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and move to a vote on that. Guillermo? Megan Joy?
Yes.
Clint Smeltzer, yes. Michael Lavario?
Yes.
Okay, so motion passes. The office will be sending out the stipulation within the next day or so, and all instructions are getting it back to us.
Thank you.
Definitely not tomorrow with folks.
Oh, that's right. I've been saying that all night, but I forgot tomorrow Veterans Day, so.
Yeah.
They will not be tomorrow, but you'll probably get them Wednesday, because I will finish them tomorrow, you all will have them Wednesday morning, so. Perfect.
I can't remember, was it 2 meetings ago, but you guys had mentioned that they're gonna put out, like guidelines.
We just voted on them last month, and then we're going to be, we actually, Susan and I were talking about that, we need to then formulate a little letter, to send it out. The one thing which I think we mentioned, we did, the main change is we put in a administrative approval for full.
Right, okay.
Well, the 2 theaters, we voted in last year.
Technically, we will.
Thank you.
There you go, Joel. Good luck. Well, the only thing, they weren't full license before, they were beer long, so that they wouldn't fall under technically the permanent, but. Or new process. Okay, so we only have 2 items left. And technically, I think they are both Frank. I do have one, I think I'm gonna take them slightly out of order. I think we're gonna take one first, because I know there's probably some residents here for that. So we're gonna take number 14 next, which is Turry's. 302 Broome Street. So the applicants or attorney, please raise your hand for 302 Broome Street. Frank is not here at all.
I do not see Frank.
Frank is both items.
Right. He was gonna be last anyway, right?
He's both items though, and he's both of these last items. Okay, well, is the applicant here for 302 Broome Street, Churries?
I just promoted his son.
No, so it's just doing stuff for
So that was just fine. Yeah, was she one of the residents?
Oh, she's one of the residents.
Yes. But let's just see, we promoted Hassan, I think you just need to accept the promotion to panelist. Hassan, are you, I see your hands raised and I think we're trying to promote you. You'll have to accept once you get the notification.
He's on the phone.
No, wouldn't show up as the name on the phone. So. So Hassan, you're declining to be promoted. I'm not sure what that means. If you're having. Can you send us a message if you are the applicant for this item?
Oh, I guess, yeah, he's joining.
So he can talk, I just put that
Yeah.
out on the top, so he can talk.
There's some.
Yes.
Hi, sorry, I just dialed in from my phone. I'm not the applicant, I'm one of the tenants at 302 Broome Street.
Okay.
And
So,
Hassan, I can't, I guess you guys weren't able to hear me. So it's asking me now to unmute or mute.
we can hear you now, so it's all good.
Okay.
We're just gonna try to see if the applicant is here. I know I saw Caitlin was here. Who I know is another one of the residents in the building.
Dean is another resident.
Yes, they're residents. So actually promote Caitlin. She sent an email earlier today. She sent an email asking for us to withdraw it, and we explained that we don't have the authority to withdraw an item. So.
But Frank, he never withdrew, he knows.
No.
He knows.
But so Caitlin declined to be promoted. I don't, if the applicants are not here,
We can't do that.
we can't hear it, but we have to actually deny it, don't we?
Yeah.
We have to deny it for non-appearance
Otherwise they can go straight.
because they have it withdrawn.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you
so,
should just vote something back.
so I guess. Yeah, Hassan, you can unmute yourself, but she already clarified that you're another resident of the building, so you're not the applicant.
Oh,
so-
he's another resident?
Yeah, she just said Hassan's one of another resident, so, okay, so.
You know, why don't we do the other one?
Okay, well, we're gonna move, so we're gonna move to the other item right now and just come back to this at the end, just to make sure that. You know, there's nothing else, we're not missing anything, so we'll move to number 7, which is Sushi Oku at 22 Orchard Street. If you're the applicant or the attorney for. Frank is the attorney, yeah, Frank, we do not see Frank.
There's a number right here. These are two folks from there's Scar.
I think Scar is the applicant, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, Scar, you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
There we go.
There we go. So just confirming, I know Frank Lillo is your attorney.
Yeah, he's not. He needs to be let in. I think his phone up. He's not letting. He can't get in for whatever reason.
Okay.
He says he has to be let. He's not being let into the Zoom.
I mean,
There's nothing to let.
there's no one.
There is nothing to let.
There's no one to let in. We could promote him to a panelist, but we
No,
don't see
he's
him
not.
listed as. We don't see him listed on the attendees.
He must have the wrong link.
Yeah, he might be in the wrong link if you could.
He needs to go to our website and click on the link.
Yeah, if you could just.
He said it's a cell. He's texting me right now. He's saying it's a cell 516 number.
Oh, wait.
Cell phone.
There's nothing for us to let in.
Yeah, honestly, I'm sorry, we don't see any even, usually we'll see a cell phone number listed, but we don't see any even numbers listed as the attendees.
Okay.
And,
He's
right.
gonna get mixed up with their meetings. We
Yeah,
have to be
he
admitted.
may have clicked on a different link maybe on our website.
Hold on. Let me just send him my link and maybe that'll
Yes.
work.
Please do that as well.
Just give me 1 second. I'm just gonna send him.
Did you know that was the?
This is 6 people.
Yeah.
Big cleaner, is this the dishes for something else, it's just serving like? No, I think it's just having like. I think
it's just that.
it is.
Yeah, I have no idea what to do. I just sent them my email, so let's see if that works.
I announced it to everyone. That they asked. But I sent around the bunker like the next day, when our PT was coming back.
Oh, here's Frank.
We got Frank, okay.
All right. Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just something on the.
Okay, good, I think we. Okay, so we'll get Frank promoted and we'll get going here. Okay, so I'm gonna give a quick summary here of the application, and then we'll hand it over to you. It's Scar Pimentel, doing business as Sushi Oku, is seeking an upgrade to a full on-premise liquor license. The premise is located at 22A Orchard Street between Canal and Hester. This is an application for an upgrade. It's an establishment of 74 people, 4 tables, 16 seats, 1 bar with seats, a full kitchen, serving food during the loss of operation. 15 full on-premises licenses within 500 feet. The applicant has been a license holder since 2015 at this location. In 2023, they opened 35 Orchard Street. Now this is one thing, and I confirmed this, but I want to check with you. I think I have an answer for this. In the past 2 years since 2023, there have been 186 311 complaints, with 113 of them were non-crime corrected. We'll get back to that in a second. I hope you can answer some things for that. We received no support or opposition prior to the meeting for this item. 35 residents who live within 2 blocks of the location signed a petition. And they are proposing hours of operation, opening no later than 4 p.m. all days, closing by 12 a.m. Sunday to Wednesday, and then 2 a.m. Thursday through Saturday. I think your current hours are closing at 12 a.m. all nights. I think you're asking for the extension of till 2 a.m. Thursday through Saturday. Not proposing outdoor space for commercial use. Close any front yard facade doors and windows at 10. On the back yard for use only. No public calls for party buses. And will not have happy hours. And no wait lines, and will ensure an employee is designated for no loiter, noise, or crowds. Okay, so I'm gonna hand it over to you if you want to go ahead and add anything that I may have missed or make any corrections to anything that you said. And then I would just like to, if you could explain, I have a feeling that the 311 calls are probably for Treasure Club next door to you. I don't think they were related to you, but unfortunately in the 311 system, it only lists 22 Orchard Street. It doesn't list A and B, so.
Yeah, we're in Omakase. We don't make noise, so it's definitely next door. It's not us.
It's a Japanese restaurant. We don't do a lot of.
Exactly. That was. I thought that was very strange, and I searched online. I think it's probably Treasure Club next door to you. So we can adjust that. We don't really need it, because I also know if there was that large of a number of complaints and 311 calls, that someone would have at least sent an email with some kind of complaint about you. So the fact that we received nothing and there's no one here tonight, I think we're probably safe. So okay. So if you just want to go ahead and just add, or if you have anything to add or anything else, just a little summary of what you're doing.
We just.
Go ahead, Scott.
Sorry, Frank. You go ahead, Frank. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Frank.
I was just gonna say, we're not really doing anything different than what we've previously been doing. We're gonna keep doing the same restaurant, the same method of operation, and we are turning people away at later hours. It'll be nice to have the opportunity to serve later.
Okay, so and really, you're just changing. It was Thursday through Saturday, I think, to 4 a.m. or to 2 a.m. Sorry, Thursday through Saturday, 2 a.m. You're extending. You're keeping the other days still at 12, right?
Correct. Correct. I'm sorry. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, that's fine. I'm good.
They heard you.
Okay.
And let's just double check to make sure, is there anyone here from the public for this item? Please raise your Zoom hand, because there's no one here in person at this point, so. Yep, I don't see anyone, so. I think in the case, this is a pretty simple one, it's basically adding full liquor, an upgrade to beer and wine full liquor, and it's closing of 2 AM Thursday through Saturday. And does anyone have any questions or comments at all, any other committee members?
So there is a little change in the hour.
There is a change in the hours on Thursday through Saturday from 12 to 2. But they've been operating in this location since 2015. So
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, and he owns other locations on this block, in this neighborhood, that
I,
have good reputations.
Yeah. I've known Scott since 2015 and, I know that he cares a lot about that neighborhood and that street, so.
Okay, then I guess we're gonna go ahead and move to a motion with the stipulations. We'll go ahead and put the stipulations up on the screen, quickly rush through those. Not rush through, sorry, but we'll quickly. Quickly read through those, well, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's a simple one.
Okay.
Scar Pimentel is a qualified representative of Scar Pimentel located actually, is that the corporate name?
No, the license is being held in Scar's name.
Okay, so it's just, okay. Yeah. Just wanna make sure we wanna make sure that matches the. Located 22A Orchard Street. My license is a full liquor license. We'll operate a full service restaurant, which actually just specifies, do you consider it Japanese?
Yes.
Is that, okay, so we'll just to clarify, we'll just add that in there. We'll operate a full service Japanese restaurant, kitchen open and serving food during hours of operation. Hours of operation will be Sunday through Wednesday, 4 PM to 12 AM, Thursday through Saturday, 4 PM to 2 AM. Will not use outdoor space for commercial use. Will close any front and rear facade doors and windows at 10 PM. Will not have DJs, live music, third party promoted events. Any events recover fee is charged for scheduled performances. Ambiance background recorded music only. Will not apply for an alteration in the method of operation without coming to CD3. Will not participate in pub cars with party buses. Will not have unlimited drink specials, including boozy brunches. Will not have a happy hour. Will not have wait lines. Will the staff person responsible for ensuring no loitering noise or crowds. Will post the stipulations. Residents may contact the owner manager number below, Scar Pimentel at 714-473-7326.
Can I just ask one question?
Yep, please go ahead.
Scar, happy hour or no happy hour?
I don't know. I don't know. We don't have it in the original spot, so I don't know, to be honest with you.
Well, so I personally, we don't really care necessarily about happy hour, it's not a big thing. If it's something you think you want to do, you can go ahead and add that in and say, whatever, happy hour of 6 or 7, whatever you choose. You don't have to, because the way we word it is may have a happy hour until 7 PM. Is that something you want to do or you're thinking about? I don't think any of us have a problem adding that in.
If you change your mind, Scar, we got to come back for that.
Okay. You got it, Frank.
What time would it end?
I guess 4 to 7, 4 to 6 or 4 to 7.
Okay, so just end by 7 PM, that's
Yeah.
fine. And again, the way we word it is may have a happy hour till 7 PM or whatever, so you're fine. That way, if you have it, that's fine too. Okay.
Otherwise, it's fine, Clint.
We're gonna move to a vote on that, Guillermo?
Okay, thanks, guys.
Wait, they have to vote.
Oh, sorry, I didn't. You're going in and out. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. I think we we have multiple mics on, which causes it confusing, but Guillermo?
Yes.
Megan?
Yes.
Clint? Yes. Michael?
Yes.
Okay, so the resolution and stipulations passed, so the office will be sending the stipulations out on Wednesday with instruction on returning and getting back to the office. So now that you're here, Frank,
Yes, I am.
do we have, is Troy, are they here? Is the applicant here for it?
I believe they are.
Okay, because I think when you came back on, we were calling for you and we weren't getting anyone, so.
No, I know.
People.
I'm gonna call them.
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna mute myself.
See if you can find out for us.
We heard this last month.
And then Drew we received an email this afternoon from the residents saying they've been working with you. Then they said they've had very productive conversations with the applicant, but there were some things they hadn't worked out and asked us to withdraw, and we said we can't.
Right.
So. I
He
don't
says
know.
he's been raising his Zoom hand.
So we just have now Ellis. Ellis, is Ellis the applicant?
Alice is the manager, yes.
Okay. We didn't see him before, but his hand is up now, so we're promoting him now.
They should be together.
Okay, which is fine. Okay, so we did hear this application last month. The applicant went through to meet with the neighbors. I'll give a really quick summary, and then we're gonna move to you to see if there's been any changes. It's an establishment for 148 people, 29 tables, 95 seats, 2 bars, a 34-foot bar on the first floor with 16 seats, a 36-foot bar with 10 seats in the basement, full kitchen serving Mediterranean fusion food all hours, no TVs, live music DJs. There are 21 full premises licenses within 500 feet. This applicant has never held a license before, but has worked in the industry. We did receive some emails from the residents in the building concerning things. We've received an email just today saying that they had worked with the applicant, that they haven't quite come to any final conclusions. I think we'll probably hear from them tonight. Currently they were proposing hours of opening no later than 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. 12 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, closing by 2 a.m. Sunday through Thursday, 4 a.m. Friday and Saturday. They will not use outdoor space for commercial use, closed strict facade. On background record music own. They will play on background record music. They will have live music and DJs at background level. Will not have third-party promoted events, scheduled performances, or cover fees, and no more than 8 private events per year. They will not have happy hours, no unlimited drink specials. Okay, so I think we're gonna hand it over to you if you want to go ahead and maybe give us a summary of what's happened between last month and where you are today.
My clients and the residents met. I believe they had a Zoom, they had conversations, but unfortunately, we're still at a bit of an impasse. They're nice people. We want to be able to operate this business.
Okay, so I guess we'll go, I think the residents are here, we'll go ahead and move to the residents and we'll hear what they have to say, and then we can see where we're at, where the problems are. So we're gonna go ahead and promote, Caitlin.
Can I let the Odin go first? She has to leave for another meeting. I will go
Sure.
after her.
That's fine, so, Odin, we're promoting you now.
Odin.
Yes, hi, can you hear me, guys?
Yes, we can, go ahead.
Okay, look, thank you for listening to us and everything. So I'm from Unit 5A. You know, I think you, Frank, will see that we said we want to see business happening in 302, but we also want to make sure that the residents are respected, that they get their rest, that they feel secure, and that they have access to the common areas of the condo at all time and don't need to go through the basement of what could be a lounge or restaurant, because this is how it has to be done currently. So just going on to the application, noise and soundproofing is a real issue for the building. The building was never built to have a restaurant or lounge, and the current soundproofing is definitely not adequate, and we need that to be, if the application goes through, we need this to be totally brought up to scratch and approved by the residents, especially if they're going to have a lounge, which is going to be open to 4 a.m. 4 a.m. to me, a lounge means the nightclub, and they have said in the application only background noise. I'm not too sure how those two relate, and therefore it concerns me. Second point is ventilation. There is no ventilation currently for the kitchen. There is an illegal stuff done on the building which needs to be rectified. And they have put on their menu that they are going to have filet mignon and burgers with fries, so they need to adhere to the New York regulations, and they need to have the condo building approval. Security, there will be a huge volume of people outside. They're talking over 100 people to come into the basement, etc. Please note the condo has balconies, so noise and smoking from patients from outside will affect the residents. We need to have door security at all times because we have to make sure that none of the patients come into the resident door. It's essential. Coming back to the common area, at the moment, the external door to the common area has been blocked, and this needs to be reinstated and separated off from the patients of the tenant for 1A and for 1B. The violations need to be resolved. They are still unpaid. This has not yet been done. They tell me it's going to be done. They got the owners got a permit to remove the illegal exhaust in August 25, but they've done nothing. And really important is we need an agreement with Arthur. We have started talking with him and we put some stuff on paper. We haven't been able to move forward yet because he hasn't responded from, Frank's responded once, we responded back to Frank. We're still waiting on his response back. But I am concerned regarding Frank's commentary that he said, what does he say? Arthur, you may have come to realize is not tremendously sophisticated. I suggest that you require Arthur to address these individual concerns as they arise. Arthur is not a prepared documentation guy. Agreeing to his terms to this term will be disingenuous. And these terms were about like procedures for cleaning, security, etc. So we would like this to move forward. So my recommendations is we defer the application to the next community meeting. So the violations can be cleared, the common area can be reinstated, and we can have an agreement with Arthur and the residents. Thank you.
Clint, I'm sorry. I know you do things a certain way, but I think it's better if I respond to exactly what's being said.
That's fine. You're our last item, so not that we're gonna give you all night, but go ahead, Frank. That's fine.
First of all, Odine is a sweetheart, and I love her. But we have to be very, very careful about what we say. When I made that one comment about Arthur not being that type of guy, it was to one term in the agreement. And I had said, rather than ask Arthur to prepare this document that you're asking him to prepare, let's leave it on if there's an issue, Arthur will deal with it. As far as all the things Odine mentioned, we're fine with correcting the things that are caused by our restaurant. And there are some things there that are our problem. We can't get the landlord to do more. I'm the first to admit he's dragging his feet. But we can't push him to do these things. And that's the big problem. If the access has been cut off, as Odine said, that's the landlord's responsibility to replace that, to fix that. At the same time, I agree 100%. We can't have people out on the street. And one of the problems that I've heard in the past was that I believe people were using the common hallway to access the basement. That's absolutely not going to happen. And we've agreed that's not going to happen. As far as the ventilation, we'll fix the ventilation. I don't have any problem with that. Things that relate to Arthur's business, we'll address. Things that relate to the building, I can't. I can certainly, and I have offered to do this, I can certainly assist. I can push the land, we can push the landlord, but how far can anyone push any landlord?
If the access is blocked off, can't they report it? The residents?
Well, I think they have. I think that's what they're saying. They're violations because it's cut off their access. And I think what Frank's saying is they can't, the applicant can't.
Let's confirm though, did
Yeah.
they report it?
Did the residents report the lack of access to DOB?
Who's that question directed to?
Resident, and we're resident.
Well, we need to
Did they
propose.
call 311 violation?
But, I mean,
Odine?
Odine, I think, had to leave because I think she had another meeting she had to go to, so I think that's why she spoke first. But for bringing Caitlin, and it might, I don't know if it's Caitlin or Caitlin, but I was calling her Caitlin. She might be able to answer some of those, possibly.
I'm gonna look it up with the DOB.
Okay, but Frank, was there, I know we were gonna respond. Is there anything else you wanted to just respond to, Odine?
No, I did respond to the residents' stipulations one by one, and I indicated in that response, we'll take care of the things that are our problems. The soundproofing, absolutely, we will soundproof the premises. The ventilation system, absolutely will do that. Security, absolutely will do that. These are things we have to do. And we will not permit people to use the common hallway to access the basement. They've done that in the past, and it's a comment that the residents have been complaining about it. We've heard it. We're not going to allow it.
Okay, look, Frank, if this was the case that you would agree to everything in the agreement that we sent to you, why haven't we got an agreement signed? With the previous applicants that we've had with Ed, with, oh, sorry, I'm rushing, but with Jason, they all signed the agreement for us before we came to the community board. We don't have an agreement signed between the residents and between ARPA. And I think that is only the common courtesy and the respect to the residents that we have this agreement signed and it gets attached to the liquor license or the liquor board approval application. So no, let me finish, please, because I actually have to leave. The second thing is the common area is blocked. How can you have a restaurant and a nightclub when you are losing common area access that the patients have no right to? So I find it very difficult even how an application can be put in place when there is violations of the and I really do feel for ARPA, but the owner has to sort this out. Yes, I agree it's not ARPA, but how can he have a restaurant and a lounge or a nightclub without getting?
Odie, we have a question though for you, which we brought you back in for. It seems like, has anyone reported this to DOB about these violations?
To 311.
To 311?
You have to ask Caitlin and that. I'm not too sure. I'm not. Yeah, I really don't know. I mean, so please follow that up with Caitlin. I'm going to have to be extremely rude. I had hoped we could get on earlier, but I have a tight 10 o'clock that I have to get to because I'm calling from Singapore, so I'm on the other side of the world. Yes.
That's fine, but thank you for the comment, and we'll confirm with Caitlin then.
Yeah, I do apologize. I'll try to sign in on my hand phone as I sit in the taxi. Yeah.
Okay.
Good night, Odine.
Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna bring Caitlin in then, but while we're getting Caitlin promoted, Susan did pull up in the DOB and she's finding no violations listed.
There's still violation listed, and also there's so many complaints that aren't
It was inspected and it was fine.
Okay, so Susan says
That was 2 years.
it was reported in 2023, it was reported, it was inspected, and they found no violation.
Oh, yeah, there's a violations that you could look at the complaint that the building, they're all complaining about the restaurants downstairs. About the noise, about the ventilation, they're all sorts of things. Okay, I'm gonna.
It has not been reported in 2 years. There is no.
Oh yeah, it's not in the business there's no business and nothing going on downstairs right now. They've been shut it off for past 2 years.
Same conversation here.
Yeah,
okay, so I'm just specifically talking about the common area and the access.
Mm-hmm.
Was that reported at all to 311 or to the Department of Buildings? Is there an actual violation in regards to that?
For the common access, no, we haven't.
Okay, so we're not sure at this point whether there is actually a violation on the building for the common access.
There's a violation for the roof. It's still hanging there. There's a partial non-stop order.
But I think what you're saying, there's no are you saying that you haven't recorded the violation because since there's no business there, your common space isn't cut off? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, there's no business for past 2 years.
It will then become a violation. Right now, you have your common space. But
right now, we just went into the common area through the elevator. Yeah. It's illegal and this is blocking us against the fire department entry. We couldn't get into the common area. They have the whole gate closed it off.
But I think that's what you're saying is since there's no business, you can access it, but if the business goes in, it will cut off your access. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, no? Right.
Yes. So you haven't reported it yet because right now there's no violation because you
correct. Yes.
But what is it that we're expecting the landlord to fix?
What?
So what is the violation that you're expecting the landlord to fix to correct?
The roof, the roof, there's a illegal.
No. We understand the roof. We understand the roof. But in terms of the access and cutting off from the common area.
No,
what-
we don't have any violation yet, no,
No,
because
I know, listen, I know you don't have a violation because you haven't reported it because it's not a problem yet. But what I keep hearing is that your access will be cut off and it will be a violation. So I don't know what you're asking, but what would the landlord be doing to correct that?
Yeah, Frank said the landlord's dragging.
Frank said the landlord's dragging, I think Odie said that, but
I can't hear what Susan's saying, I'm sorry.
because our mics are on the same time. So Susan, speak.
Yes, Frank, you said the landlord is dragging and fixing something. What is it they're supposed to be?
I don't know that. I've learned that from the residents.
Okay, so there really is no violation that we're aware of
Well,
at this time.
No, there's
no.
There may be one in the future, but we don't know that.
And also previous when they have a nightclub downstairs, we couldn't get into the basement. They used the common area as a storage.
In the past.
yes.
Oh, that was in the past.
That was when a nightclub was operating.
Right, that was
So I remember, this was happy endings, I don't remember. that.
Happy Ending and the Oma and the Stone
And
Pizza,
Oma.
those three business
But-
since 2012.
But there is no violation now.
No,
Not
but what they're saying, and I don't know what the answer to this is, but I think what they're saying is there is no violation, but if this business goes in, it then blocks their access, so they're wanting an agreement from them. I know Frank is saying that it's a landlord thing. I don't know I'm not sure what our answer is here.
So I think I do. If there's no access, there's a violation. So if the violation occurs, it gets reported, it gets fixed. It's not a question of landlord wanting to fix it. They will have to fix it or it'll be closed by DOB.
Right, so when you go to take your permits out to build your space out, their DOB is gonna look at it, and if it doesn't give the residents I mean, this is a problem that will be solved when
Right.
when their permits are issued. But I also heard Frank say that that the owner wasn't going to let the patrons access the basement through this common area, am I correct, Frank?
My client is not going to allow patrons to access the premises through the common area. Absolutely not. That's the residence area.
We couldn't, it's a restaurant, you have to go through the common area to get to the restaurant to go to the common area, but they blocked that off.
Right, but your complaint was that they were going from the restaurant to the basement through the common area.
Yeah,
I'm saying we're not going to allow that.
Is there another way to access the basement?
From the first floor, interior.
So there is another way. So I don't understand why we're getting involved.
I totally agree. I don't think this is something that I think if it's gonna be a problem and if it's not gonna be legal, that's for DOB to decide and not for us. As far as, and that's the same for the exhaust and the hood system.
What's the?
Like if they're gonna be cooking meat and burgers and steaks and things like that, they're going to need to install a hood system.
And if there's any problems, we deal with this.
And we'll deal with it
Well, we're willing to stipulate to fixing the ventilation system. We're willing to stipulate to the fact that we was thoroughly soundproofed. And we're willing to stipulate that we're not going to allow residents to use the common hallway, not residents, patrons. To use the common hallway, we can use our interior stairs, we don't need it.
I mean, that's the other stuff.
Those
I
are
think we
just
can-
the way out.
Yeah, those are not SLA items, I agree. Do we have any other speakers? For the
Okay. Caitlin, did you have anything? I know we were asking you questions about this, but did you have anything else you wanted to add, Caitlin?
I'm gonna add 2 minutes of speech. So my husband is a good speaker, so I let him speak for 2
Okay.
minutes.
That's
And
fine.
all right, I'm good at other things, but okay, I'm gonna play right now.
Go ahead.
2020, 2 years ago, the building received a DOB partial stop work order for work done without a permit for installing a kitchen exhaust system along the wall On September 8th, 2 months, DOB issued another violation for failing to certify the correction of the mentioned earlier violation, 356470331. We don't see evidence that the owner has addressed the issue. The previous commercial tenant also installed 3 large HVAC systems without a permit on the roof a few years ago when no one was around, which makes a lot of noise in operation. There are also $20,000 ECB. There are also $20,000 ECB unpaid violations against the previous commercial tenant and commercial owner since 2020, 5 years ago. We don't see evidence that the owner has taken care of these issues. We need the commercial unit to rectify the basement common area, providing full access for residents to their electric, water, and gas meters in the event of an emergency. Currently, the commercial unit has gated the external door common area entry and uses it as their storage room. We don't see evidence that the owner has taken care of the issue. The commercial unit was originally built as a retail store. However, the owner converted it in 2012 without informing the other condo. Since this conversion, there have been ongoing problems with nightclub, owner nightclub, and noise. Laundry or with thinking about affecting. We don't see evidence that the commercial unit has made any improvements, and the landlord seems not to care about the neighborhood. With the rest of the residents' quality of life, they are only interested in collecting $40,000 rent.
Okay, that's it.
Okay, so there's an illegal ventilation system installed in the courtyard 2 years ago. So that's what they said they're gonna fix. The ECB violations are all construction related.
So that was happening before, right? That's what they're talking about. Right. Again, I don't think, right, they're not using the elevator, they're only using the internal stairway. Right. So we've heard, okay, so I think we're gonna move on then to, there's one more person, I think, Catherine, we're gonna promote you now.
Yes. Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, you can, go ahead.
Gosh, this is so absurd, that you would be willing to give them a license after everything that we've been through. I honestly, and Frank, you know, I wish you weren't complicit in this, but you are. You said that we were tort interference. I mean,
I didn't
please.
say that.
You
I
said
said
that
the
you said that the
attorney
landlord, but
said.
where would he get that language from? They're not lawyers. You are. Anyway,
Their
let me
attorney
have
said
my
it.
let me have my 2 minutes, please. I've been battling with the guys, I've had to meet with so many people now for this address, but the stuff that the building, how can they operate without a proper HVAC system, without the exhaust? And I know, I hear what you're saying, that's up to the Department of Buildings, but even today, they tried to say, we applied for permits at last minute today for a permit to have the original exhaust reinstated on the roof, when in fact it was never on the roof. These are the things that we are dealing with. And if you allow somebody to come in and just have the run of the place, we are back to square one. There's already enough bars on this block. There's a bar around the corner. There's 3 more around the other corner, or 2 more at the very least. Seriously, they said this was going to be a restaurant, not a full-blown club. Those hours are club hours, and they want to make a little bit more money. Well, why can't they work with us? I don't understand. And then they're saying that they would, if this would all go away, if they were to pay for all this, would we be okay with this? Of course we want to see them succeed here, but I cannot constantly live like this. We can't. And what about the people next door? You have a woman that was there for 25 years, and she lives right on top of the sound, along with 2A and 2B. I mean, this is calibrating stupidity all over again. And there's no good faith with the attorneys. They had the chance to do it at the end of August 25th, and they didn't, because they didn't have a tenant. They said that we scared them away. No, they just keep conning us and conning us and conning us. We're more than willing to work with the tenants, Arthur and Alice. That's why we met with them in good faith. But things need to be done and they need to be right so that they can operate a proper business. And they would need your permission to make alterations to the building. And this is what
So,
that's
so Catherine,
yeah.
your 2 minutes are up, so if you could wrap up your
Thanks.
thoughts, and I can answer some of your questions.
Sorry, they haven't done anything. They have not done anything. And for you to say that we don't have access, do you know what it's like to constantly get overcharged on your electricity bill? And no, we might not have filed with DOB or a 311 complaint, but we don't even have access. I don't have access to my electricity meter. None of it. It's absurd.
Okay, so Catherine, please.
No,
wrap
my
up.
answer is no. I am not in favor of anybody coming in.
Thank you. I just asked you for your summary, so you.
Thank
did
you.
Your 2 minutes. Thank you. I don't, sorry to cut
Thank
you off.
you.
So, let me just respond to, what the residents have said. So, I understand there are problems here, and there have been problems here for a long time. Susan's dealt with some of these problems back at, for 10 or 15 years. The problem is, we don't have any say or jurisdiction over those items. The only thing that you mentioned we can require and we can do something about, and I know in the past, because just in the past couple years, we've had 2 different applicants come and they both came up with agreements with the residents. Some of those things are things you can control, some of the things they agreed to with the residents, but they're not things we can control. But, one of the things you mentioned that we can control is the soundproofing. For the stipulation of the license, we can require soundproofing so that sound is not audible in the neighboring apartments. That's something we put on every license. Frank can attest to that. It's something that we ask from every applicant. As far as the access, that's not something we have. First of all, it's a little bit beyond our knowledge. We know about it, but as far as the specifics of it, that's not something we can make any say, or we're voting on it. We can vote something, but DOB doesn't have anything to do with us. So
What I would say to that is, if the business opens and there is a problem with any type of violation, we will help them get that resolved. There's nothing we can do at the moment because there is no problem at the moment. But if a problem occurs when the business is open, we will work with the residents and the agencies. SLA is not gonna look at this now, but it will be a city problem and we will work with them.
But I think, Susan, we're talking about 2 different things. The community board in the office will work with the residents to resolve the issues, not the SLA committee.
Oh, that's why I said the SLA cannot look, one, the SLA can't look at those issues. 2, there's no problem now for the SLA to look at.
Well, exactly. So, but the SLA is a little bit different. The SLA does require those permits. We don't. From the SLA committee here at the community board, we're not, but doesn't, the
I don't
SLA,
think the SLA requires them anymore either. They've changed an awful lot. And-
not at all.
And what they generally say now, Frank can correct me if I'm wrong. What they generally say now, those are city issues, you have to resolve them with the city. They used to require a lease, now you have a year to do that. And a lot of the problems they now say, you have to take that up with the city. They've changed their rules.
So even if there are outstanding violations, they still require that just be the city. And now that's the question.
I don't know if the seriousness of it, whether it be a safety issue, whether they would take that into consideration, but in general, like we used to say, it's not zoned for this. We can't say that anymore, those kinds of things.
Okay, so that being said, Frank and Ellis, is there anything from I know you've had some discussions, maybe came to some agreements on some things with the rest?
We did agree to, I don't want to say a majority, but I did at least half of the things they asked. And we agreed that we would fix the ventilation. We would, of course, have security. We were going to have that anyway. And there was something else they wanted fixed. I forgot what it was.
Well, soundproofing,
Soundproofing, I'm sorry, yes. And of course, not using the common hallway.
And then where did you guys land on hours of operation?
We didn't land. I mean, they're asking us to close like 12 o'clock and 2 o'clock. And that's, I mean, they're right. 40,000 a month is kind of the rent here. I mean, Clint, if it makes it easier, we could reduce our hours. These people have had a hard time with the prior operators. And I am sympathetic to them. They're very nice people. I mean, if it helps at all, we could reduce our hours.
I mean, I think that would go a long way, and that is something that, I think they are having a lot of issues, and I think you acknowledge that as well. It's something that if we can do that, if you are willing to reduce the hours, and then agree, at least the other thing we can control is, and I think you already agreed to it, was that you would be the additional soundproofing. And I think you did agree at least that you would not use the common space. We can put that in, but we don't really have any teeth for that. That's not something the SLA would enforce.
So if we did agree to reduce the hours, it would be out of respect for the neighbors and the fact that they have had an ongoing thing with this landlord. We get that. But there's just so much we could do. If you guys were willing and Arthur, if you're okay with it, if we did 2 a.m. 7 days a week, we could live with that. We had asked for 4 a.m. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, which would have been a nice thing to have, but if we can't, we're not trying to be unreasonable.
Yeah, I mean, I'm open to that. Did we figure out what Omar's hours? Frank, do you know what the previous,
What's the question, Megan? I can't hear.
what the previous tenants' hours of operation were?
Yeah, it was 4 a.m. As well as the other two people who met with the residents they also had 4 a.m. with the residents. They signed an agreement with them.
Right, I mean, the fact of the matter is that the only things that we can discuss here that we have control over here as an SLA committee is method of operation, hours of operation, class of liquor license, those kind of things. As far as all of the other things like hoods and roofs and areas of access and things like that, we can help them, not as the committee, but the community board can help them if there's issues with that when these tenants are actually operating.
We already have an answer for you.
No, the last one was 2 during the week and 4 on the weekend.
Oh.
Wait, say Clint?
Just let me rephrase that. I haven't got back further into the document, but the last thing we approved in July 2024 was 2 during the week and 4 on the weekends.
Right.
That was the last thing we approved, but it never opened.
Right, that was my client also.
Prior to that, in 2019, which was Omar's.
It's 4 a.m., 7 days a week.
That was 4, and you might be right, just confirming it. No, it was not actually. The signed stipulations were 5 p.m. to 2 a.m. Sunday and Monday, Tuesday to Saturday to 4 a.m. So you gave 2 a.m. Sunday and Monday, and 4 a.m. the rest of the week, which is negligible. So, but either way,
I think if they're offering 2 a.m. 7 days, that reduces the hours even more and I think it's a reasonable accommodation.
Yeah. Was there anything else? I know there was other things residents asked for, right?
Security, let me talk security.
Security, yeah, I think Frank, you did say you agreed with security, was it, what was
There's always plans for security.
But what are your, is it gonna be security every night? Is it gonna be just on the weekends? Is there?
I thought it was gonna be Thursday to Saturday, to be honest.
So security Thursday through Saturday. All hours, starting at 8?
No, I would say starting at 10 o'clock.
Starting at 10 o'clock.
Yes.
And what about, noise outside and line mitigation?
Yes.
And are you having one, just, I mean, we don't, we won't just say generically security, but is it one security guard from 10 PM till close Thursday, Friday, Saturday? Is that?
Yes,
Okay.
because we don't anticipate the first floor going late. The first floor is not gonna go late. The basement will go late until 2 AM. The first floor will be done by 12:30, 1 o'clock.
Okay, and again, just confirming, I know I read this in what we said earlier, but it's on recorder background music, but you will have live music and DJs, but it's all at background level, correct?
Correct, it's not entertainment level.
And we are gonna put in our standard SIP, which you will install soundproofing to ensure sound is not audible in the adjacent nearby apartments.
Yes, I don't believe the sound emanates from the basement, but we will absolutely ensure that we soundproof it so that none of these people are disturbed.
Okay.
I mean, the first floor is gonna be dining noise. That's all it's gonna be.
Yeah. Okay, so I think technically, I think that, and now just confirming. The hours I think you had on the application was 5 PM opening Monday through Friday, 12 PM Saturday and Sunday. And then we're now changing it to 2 AM.
Saturday and Sunday. That's not right.
Do you want, that's what I was confirming, so you want 12 PM or do you want 5 PM Saturday and Sunday too?
You mean opening?
Opening hours, yes.
Sorry.
For 5 PM to 2 AM.
5 PM to 2 AM all nights, or are you opening early on Saturday and Sunday?
No, same.
Okay, now just, and I think you probably heard us earlier tonight. We'll move your hours, I think maybe on the original application it was 12 AM on weekends. We'll put 5 PM to 2 AM all nights. If you wanna open earlier on Saturday and Sunday, you can open earlier, it's just our wording is opening no later than, so we'll change it, so it'll be 5 PM to 2 AM all nights for your hours. Okay, so I think we pretty much addressed everything, and again, to the residents who are still on, if there are those other issues that are gonna happen, that can be. The community board students specifically can work with you on those and deal with those with the city, but unfortunately, they're outside of our purview as the SLA committee. Both the community board and the SLA at the state, so. Okay, so I think we now have.
Hey, can I also say one thing too?
Yep, go ahead.
Arthur wants to work with these people. If there's any way he can help, he'd be happy to.
Okay, and it sounds like that, the email we received earlier today said that they've had very positive conversations, they just hadn't resolved all the issues, and I think I don't think you're disagreeing with that, so. Okay, so, we're gonna go ahead and put the stipulations up. I think we just kind of based on our conversation we just had, I think we've adjusted everything, yeah. Okay. So it is Arthur, and was it Jack?
Jackie.
Yep. As qualified representative of Torrey Inspirations LLC located 302 Broome Street. Will be a full liquor license, will operate a full service restaurant, specifically a Mediterranean fusion restaurant. With kitchen and open serving food during all its operation. The hours of operation will be 5 PM to 2 AM all days. You will not use outdoor space for commercial use. Yep, check out that, and then we'll employ a doorman, and it'll be one doorman Thursday through Saturday. We'll install soundproofing, current soundproofing will be supplemented to ensure sound is inaudible in neighboring apartments. We'll close any front and rear facade doors and windows at 10 PM. Is it inoperable, or do the windows open, is it an operable facade at the moment?
I don't think it's operable.
I thought it was a closed fixed facade, to be honest, but.
Ellis,
Yes.
can you open the windows on the first floor?
Oh, it's just a gate thing, the first floor.
Right,
No
but
windows.
are there windows?
No.
Okay, so I didn't think so, so we're gonna change that, it's not, we'll just say it's a closed fixed facade, no doors, windows except the entrance door, which is closed by 10 PM. So you will have DJs, live music, but you will not have third-party promoted events, any event in which a cover fee is charged or scheduled performances. No more than 8 private parties per month. Live music and DJs will play at background volume level only. Do not apply for an alteration without coming before CD3. Will not participate in pub crawls or party buses. Will not have unlimited food specials, including boozy brunches. You will not have a happy hour. You will not have wait lines. You will have a staff person responsible for ensuring no loitering, noise, or crowds. Will post stipulations by the liquor license. Residents may contact the owner at the number below and Arthur Jackie at 917-618-9884.
That looks good to me.
Okay. We're gonna go ahead and move to a vote. Guillermo?
Yes.
Yeah. Megan?
Yes.
Clint? Yes. Michael?
Yes.
Okay, so the motion passes. Frank, it'll be, I think, Wednesday when the office will return, get these out to you.
Okay, have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks.
And we will see another.
Okay, and again, to the residents, if you're going as the, later, you can work with Susan. She great at assisting you with any of those issues with the city, but she just has to let you know, so. Okay, thank you. And just make sure, because in the past, we've cut people off and they're still on waiting lists or all.
Those are all from,
Okay. If there's anyone here that we skipped or had anything else, please let us know. Otherwise, we're going to move on. We have one last item listed on the agenda. What? No, we don't have any items. We don't have any applications left. We had one other item that was listed on the agenda, and this will be really quick. It was review of the guidance for our CD3 zoning issues. When we went through our revised guidance several months ago, there was a section on the website that dealt specifically with zoning, and we had some information listed under that. And this was partially my mistake. Susan and I, what we thought was we skipped over that because we never revised it. But what we did is we incorporated that zoning information into the last bullet on our main guidance page. So we put this on here because we thought we had to address zoning issues like we did in our original guidance. We realized actually earlier today when I was trying to figure out where we put it on the website that we had already addressed this and incorporated. So technically that item has already been addressed, so we don't need to discuss revised guidance. So just so that you know why there's no vote, we're not skipping it, we're not ignoring it. It's already been addressed and it was kind of a clerical error on our part that we thought we missed it, but we actually already addressed.
One time we made a mistake, was when we thought we made a mistake.
Exactly, that's exactly what it was. We made a mistake, I think that's right. That's exactly good lesson there. So, that being said, do we have a vote to adjourn? Motion to adjourn, yes?
Yes.
Okay, Guillermo? Yes. Megan?
Yes.
Clint, yes. Michael?
Yes.
Okay,
Awesome.
meeting is adjourned.
Well done.